Hello, everyone. Welcome to week two. Week two runs starting on May the 5th, which is Monday, through next Sunday night, 11:59 p.m. I am going to kind of show you what week two looks like on Moodle. I'll give you a little bit of a brief overview. This past week, you were able to get into Shadow Health for the first time, kind of practice and see what that looks like. You all did a really great job with the conversation piece and the health assessment piece. I just encourage you when you are talking with your patient to try to keep the conversation as organized as possible. So if you say to your patient, what allergies do you have? And if they tell you perhaps about food allergies, you can have that conversation, but then make sure you follow up with, well, what are your medication or drug allergies? And then have that conversation, or vice versa. Instead of maybe talking about food allergies and then maybe moving on to something else and being like, oh, I forgot, and then going back. So just try to have your thoughts and questions organized so that your conversation flows. Because, in the real world, our patients can be a little bit confused or their minds are trying to process a lot of different information. So if we can come to them in an organized manner, it helps them and helps their responses and helps us to get better information back. So that's really the only feedback I have. You guys truly did a great job submitting the certificates. At the time of this recording, everybody who has submitted, there are certificates of completion for this week. Your grades are in the grade book. If you cannot see your grades in the grade book, please email me so that I can look into that and see what's going on with that. But otherwise, everyone's doing great. So let's look at this week. I am going to share my screen with you. So bear with me. Okay. Here we are at week two. So 5/5 to 5/11, 11:59 p.m. on 5/11. This week we are looking at the cardiac assessment. You have two shadow health activities that are due this week. The first one that you're going to need to do is the cardiovascular concept lab. And that is where you're going to kind of learn the difference about normal and abnormal heart sounds, that sort of thing, kind of get your bearings on that. That is going to be the first thing that you turn in. And then you also are going to submit your cardiovascular SSE. And I am just looking over here at my other screen at the Shadow Health website. And with this SSE assignment, you are going to assess Tina Jones's cardiovascular system and you're going to interview and examine that patient. Please make sure that you are documenting your findings. You will have a post-activity exam, and you're looking at about 45 to 65 minutes to complete that second part of that assignment. So this is where we're at. Again, over here, we are at week two. Right here is where you're submitting those certificates of completion, just like you did last week. You should be able to go up here to grades to see your grades. I'm not going to go to that screen because I want to keep that information private, but if you go there, you will see just your grade. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am happy to help, and I wish you a great week too. Thanks, everybody.